Hi, welcome to Teen Pride Book Talks. This is the program on AADL TV where I spend a few minutes each episode talking about a young adult book that is both inclusive of and representative of folks in the LGBTQIA plus community. My name is Lucy, and the book that I want to talk about today with you is called I Wish You All the Best by Mason Deaver. And this is a book about Ben DeBacher. At the very beginning of the book, Ben gets kicked out of their house by their parents for coming out to their parents as non-binary. Their parents kick them out almost immediately upon hearing this. So Ben has to leave their house with no shoes, with no phone, with nothing but the clothes that they are wearing. They don't really have anyone to turn to except for a sister who left the home 10 years ago. So Ben calls their sister from a payphone. The sister, Hannah, comes and retrieves Ben. That is sort of where the story starts. So right from the beginning, this book is talking about the importance of safe spaces. Everything that Ben has known in their life up until this point, their home, their parents, things that they would consider to be safe has become unsafe. And that obviously sort of flips everything that Ben thinks about on their head. It also makes them less sure about their decision to come out. So Ben moves in with their sister Hannah and has to start at a new school where Hannah's husband teaches, so Ben's brother-in-law. And Hannah and Tom, the brother-in-law, are very accepting of Ben and want to help them figure out the best way to go forth and fit in their new school. Ben does not want to come out as non-binary in their new school. The one time that Ben did come out, the experience was horrible and traumatic and has created a lasting effect on Ben. So Ben starts a new school with everyone thinking that they are a boy, because that's the way that they present. What is difficult about that, obviously, is that Ben is misgendered all the time. And this is another really strong point of this book. So this book talks about the importance of safe spaces and also shows you how safe spaces can mean more than just the home that you live in or physical space, but your head space or the people that you surround yourself with. Also, because Ben chooses not to come out, this book is an excellent indicator of how gendered our language is in general. Obviously, Ben is misgendered in the ways you would think by their pronouns, but then you also realize how many words in our language would make someone who is non-binary feel uncomfortable. Words like dude, man, bro, all the things that these people around Ben are constantly calling them. And each time Ben gets called one of those things, they describe how that feels to them and how this constant daily misgendering takes a toll psychologically. Ben makes one really good friend right away at their new school, a guy named Nathan, and Ben doesn't come out to Nathan either, but they get closer and closer. Their friendship is one of the highlights of this book. They're funny together, they're very close, they respect each other, and so Nathan becomes a safe space for Ben. This book also does an excellent job exploring body dysmorphia for Ben, who was kicked out of their house with no clothes, nothing. They have an opportunity to go buy new clothes with their sister. Their sister heads immediately towards the men's department out of habit. This is what Ben has been wearing for all of their life. Also, Ben has not come out at school, so their gender expression at school is as male. But Ben does go into the women's department with their sister and looks at the clothes there and thinks, well, that would be a lot more comfortable. And I love the way that that drapes. I love the way that that looks. And the purchasing of these clothes and the trying on of these clothes and then choosing what to wear when, every time that the book talks about that, you realize how uncomfortable Ben is just in their physical body, the parts of their body that don't look right to them because they don't match how Ben feels. And when Ben puts on these clothes and goes to an event or goes to school, there are constant reminders for Ben as well throughout the day of feeling uncomfortable in their body because of the way that the clothes make them feel and that their body just doesn't feel right. Because Ben is responsible for choosing out their clothes, they're having to re-examine and reevaluate their relationship with their body. And this creates discomfort, which is very palpable when you're reading the book. So this book ultimately is about accepting yourself, all the parts of yourself, the messy parts, the good parts, and that occurs not just for Ben, but for Nathan as well, for the way that their friendship evolves, for whether or not Ben makes a decision to come out to anyone else. This book puts you so much inside of Ben's head that it is an excellent explanation of, I think, the experience of how it might feel to be non-binary. And as I said before, one of the things that really stuck out to me is just how gendered our language is and how toxic that gendered language can be. It's not just misgendering someone with pronouns, but it's all those words that are ingrained into our language. And then that makes you start thinking about bigger things that are just ingrained into the way we operate, that are so binary and so gendered. If you are someone who's non-binary, this book might be a way that you can see yourself and feel see some of what you have experienced reflected back to you. If you are not non-binary, then this book is an excellent way to understand what it is like for somebody to be trying to come out as non-binary and someone to just exist as non-binary. Even if Ben had come out to everyone in their school, there still would have been examples of them being misgendered just because of the way that we talk. So there's a lot of heavy material in this book. This is a big topic and it's very well done and it's very sensitively done by the author. But it's also a great friendship story and the characters really come to life beyond just their trauma and their angst. They have humor and they have empathy. It's a great story about accepting yourself and everyone should read it. So that is I Wish You All the Best by Mason Deaver.